Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. How are we doing, guys? Welcome to TSK F1. We're live with the Mclaren MCL60 launch, which should be starting in about 15 minutes or so. Well, actually, no, I think it's about 5 minutes. They've slightly changed the time of it. But we're here, we're live, we're ready to go. And I do have a little concept to show you guys. Have a little concept to show you guys in just a moment. But let's get a little poll going. Let's get a poll going. Do we think McLaren will have a better season this year? Let's get a poll going on that. See what you guys think. I'll get you guys to answer that one. But we've got a little concept art to start with from this Shaura. I always get this name wrong, but Naya always giving credit to this. Look at this. I like the sort of metallic look that they've gone for on their concept art for it. I think it looks really, really good, actually. If it looks anything like that, it would be super, super cool. There's just a few seconds delay, really, but I'm looking now at the launch stream, and it'll be about 3.5 minutes until that starts. But we're ready to go. We're excited for the launch. Good afternoon, Scott. Good afternoon, Ian. How are we doing? I don't think it's going to be a departure from the papaya because... Well, they're celebrating the 60 years of McLaren with the name of the car itself, aren't they? The MCL60. It's to signify 60 years of McLaren. So I'm not expecting too much of a departure. I don't think we're going to see as much sort of blue as we're seeing in this concept. I think it's going to be very papaya coloured, honestly. I'm super excited for this launch. I will bring you it literally as soon as it goes live, because I'm looking now. But I just think this is a better way to do it. Admittedly, I'm a much smaller channel and things like that, so we can get our views across and we can have a good chat about it. John says, as you know, Rich, I'm a huge McLaren fan, but something tells me they could actually really struggle this season. Hoping I'm wrong. Interesting. It is interesting, actually, to think about there. You think there's more black than blue? Yeah, probably, Russ. I think you're probably right there, mate. But we should see. We should see very, very shortly. And it should be live any minute. Literally, the moment it goes live, I'll be bringing it to you guys. So I thought I'd just get this concept art ready. But I think this is a good thing. I've also got that time wrong for the Alpine launch. It's actually 8 p.m. on Thursday. Directly after this stream, well, not directly, but after this stream as well, there is also the Aston Martin launch, which I'll be going live for about 6:45 this evening. There's no pit lane sim racing stream tonight, just so you guys are aware. But here you go. We're bringing it up to you now. Here we go. If it'll give me full screen, which it should. There we go. I'll mute it. So we're all good to go. We're ready to go. And I'll move myself over to the right. Happy fun times. It's as if I've prepared. It's as if I've prepared for what's about to happen. But there you go. I can tell you now, guys, that you have about 3 seconds delay looking at this. So here we go. I reckon it will be the slow sports slot. Probably with McLaren. But we're supporting our local content creator by being on here. I appreciate it, guys. I have scheduled and put on YouTube already. I've put on there already that the what people messaging me here. I don't even know what's happening right now. I've already scheduled the streams, guys, for the rest of the launches. So if you go onto the TSK F1 page, they're all on there. So if you're particularly interested in the Alpine or the Mercedes, they're all scheduled already. You just have to tap the notify me button, and over and above the normal notifications, you'll get notified about that specific stream as well. Because I have been reading up on it, and I believe YouTube only send out 3 notifications a day. So by that time later on, like the Aston Martin stream that's coming after this, you probably won't get a notification unless you tap notify me. So please do that, guys. But as you can see, we're under 8 minutes to go for the launch now. Really excited for this one, actually. Really excited for this one. It should be pretty good. Now, we've got 86% think this season's going to be better than last season for McLaren. Now, I'm still on the fence as to whether I'm going to call Lando Norris being beaten by Oscar Piastri this season. I know that's a little bit of a controversial thing to say, but there's something telling me that Piastri is going to score more points than Lando Norris this season. And I know very few will agree with me on that, but I might just go out on a limb this season and say that I think Piastri is going to score more points. Because you've got to have a little bit of excitement, and you've got to make a call here and there, haven't you? Look at Glenn. No. Glenn, no. I mean, look. I mean, I hope McLaren are quicker than last year, and will be good to see how Piastri does against Lando. I'm the same as you. Think it will be higher in black than blue. More Well, this is the thing. Look, I would encourage I would encourage everyone to watch my rundown of this year's new drivers. Go and watch that, and then come back to me and say it's an impossible thing, because I don't believe it's impossible. I don't believe it's impossible. I genuinely think Piastri is a special driver, a very special driver. I bet you a subway that Lando scores more points. I'll go for that, Russ. I'll go for that. I'll go for that for sure. 6 minutes until we get the launch or the launch program. I'll keep it muted and we'll see what's going on it. I don't think McLaren will keep us waiting all that long. And just to remind everyone, Aston Martin, I will be back for the Aston Martin stream later on as well, already scheduled. Please go to the TSK F1 page and notify me. There's a button for that. But as you can see, literally the moment it happens, you'll be seeing it right here as well. Thank you for hanging out today, guys. But Gled doesn't agree with it. But in Gled's world, no one can beat Lewis Hamilton ever. So, I mean, I don't know if Gled's the best judge, really. He's sat swearing at his phone right now. I'd like to see McLaren do better. I'd like to see McLaren do better. And interesting McLaren news, I suppose, and topic is the potential of them going back to Honda. That, you know, that's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout. They're with Mercedes right now, aren't they? Good afternoon, Keith. John says, I don't think it's impossible, but it depends how much McLaren has changed their car. Is it still a Lando car, or can Piastri make it his car? It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because obviously we heard the thing that led me to realize what was wrong with Danny Rick in a big part was when, I can't remember what race, I think it was Red Bull Ring, when Lando sounded legitimately scared about the brakes. That just showed me all I needed to know about what was going on with Danny Rick. Because if he's got the speed, if Lando Norris has got problems with the brakes, then we all knew that nothing could help Daniel Ricciardo, really. So yeah, I'm excited to see this though. I'm excited to see this because really we've got, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I feel like we've got the big teams this week, right? I suppose we had Red Bull, but we all knew that wasn't going to be a launch. We all knew that wasn't going to be a launch, as in we weren't going to see anything new. We all knew it was going to be a spec car, and we all knew really what we were going to get. Our Alpine later on in the week, just going to be their blue colour. We've got Ferrari, they're going to be red, but we might see something new. Mercedes, they're going to be silver, but we might see something new. McLaren, probably papaya, but again, it's close enough to testing that we might see something new. Aston Martin, they really showed their hand last year, and we saw those side pods. Admittedly, they backed out of using those side pods, but we saw something new. So, you know, with testing, what is it? The week after next, isn't it? I think. No, it's next week. Is it next week? The 23rd. When is that? 10 days. So next Thursday, testing gets underway. I do want to support all the British lads. I just don't do foreigners. Well, I mean, I don't know. I support the British lads. Like, I really like Lando. I like Russell. You know, I like the British lads, but I look at it and I look at what Piastri has done up to Formula One, and I think, oh, he could be like actually special, that lad. Which wouldn't be a bad thing for McLaren if he is actually special, because then they'll have two incredibly good drivers, won't they? But it'll be interesting to see. I've heard and read lots about Piastri, that he is extremely sort of focused and on the ball with everything. Like, he is really, really bang on with everything, extremely professional. But I can't say I've actually seen him speak. Are you talking special like me? No, that's a reserved kind of special, Russ. Nationality doesn't bother me like Charlie and Sainz. Not keen on Hamilton or Max. That's fair, Keith. It wouldn't do for us all to be the same. Nationality doesn't really bother me. I've oddly found myself drawn to German drivers in the past. I'm not really sure why. A minute and a half to go. Let me just have a little bit of a mouthful of water here. But here we go. We're getting ready for the McLaren Launch event. Super excited. Thank you for joining me, guys. Please do hit that like button on the stream. And if you are new here, hit the subscribe button down in the bottom right-hand corner. I'm here for all the rest of the launches, including Aston Martin's in a couple of hours. Get involved in the chat. The more involved you guys are in the chat, then the better this stream will do and the channel will do. And we really want it to do well. I'll be here for the watch-alongs during the season as well. I did want to ask you guys, would you have any interest in me doing the free practice watch-alongs, or are you only bothered about qualifying in the race? And that's a thing I'm yet to decide on myself, whether I'm going to do the free practice watch-alongs or not, because I have a feeling they could be a very lonely watch-along, but we'll see. How you doing, Pascal? Hope you're doing well. George, how you doing? I hope you're well. 18 seconds to go. British lad, I like the British lads to do well, but I like a few others. Sainz and Piastri, I'll be watching closely. Sainz, I spoke about Sainz, I think, earlier on today. I think people sleep on Sainz. But here we go. 3, 2, 1. And we'll give it a little bit of volume. We'll give it a little bit of volume. Can you hear that?
Welcome everyone to the OKX Thought Leadership Centre here at McLaren's UK headquarters for the launch of the 2023 season.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting one of the sidemen to be presenting this, to be honest. That's totally what I'm going to go with. Got mates who can't stand Hamilton but want him to win because he's British, and they want to beat Schumacher's record because he's German. I don't get it. No, I don't get that. I don't get that. So they do have the car physically sat there. 20 minutes, I think she said there.
Let's remind ourselves of where this all began.
Let's have a quick look at what's going on. Well, this is about Bruce McLaren.
It was on a beach at a place called Muriwai in New Zealand. And
you hear that?
Once again, I was about 16. In fact, I won it. I was, I think, more excited than I've ever been before in my life.
He always came across as one of the nicest guys in the world. Always friendly, smiling. Yeah, just a super guy, really.
He was so, jovial about it. Oh, I'd give a little chuckle and could go, hey, okay, righty, and he'd be off. And
this is all why I love Formula One.
He seemed to be enjoying it as well for what he was doing.
His men would have followed him anywhere, and whatever it took, it got done.
Already he had a stellar reputation about being a very technical driver. I learned everything
Legend.
from him at the time.
It was a very small team, but it punched a long way above its weight. Because of the guy, it was the leader. Greatest leader of men I've ever met.
I have been a McLaren fan at Indianapolis since 1970. I was 13 years old. Bruce would talk to me over the fence. And then after the race, I got to go into the garages and I spoke with Bruce. I said, Mr. McLaren, I'm such a big fan of your team. Is there any way I could get one of your team patches? And to this day, it's one of my most cherished things. And 3 days later, Bruce was killed.
It's this stuff that I want to educate new fans to F1 about.
I've been a McLaren fan ever since.
The day after, the factory was effectively shut down and everyone would go home. But everybody came to work. It just didn't break step.
Mad, innit? Oh boy, legends.
He
Both
was so
FB.
enthusiastic about it. He was like that all the time. Things were going forward, got to go forward. Yeah.
He looked forward. He was what's going to happen tomorrow, not what happened yesterday.
He had ambitions beyond what I could even understand. Racing and road car. You see, that's what his mind was. You know, going for the stars.
Most teams are only capable of fighting on one front, though either Formula One, Can-Am, or Indy. McLaren are doing a lot.
And they've gone back to that, haven't they? They're all over the place now, McLaren again. As there should be and was, you know?
He created an empire, and it's still here.
I do
Bruce
like that.
McLaren.
Zach Brown's brought all that back.
Phenomenal guy.
I love this stuff with
Now
F1.
we are delighted to have Tex and Howden, the McLaren employees, number 3 and number 8, with us this evening. Can we give them a big round of applause?
I love all this stuff to do with Formula One and the history of Formula One and the different teams. It's much bigger than recent goings on and drama that's on track. It's all. This is why, like, I'm a fan of Formula One. You know, the history, the heritage of all the teams and things like that. It's meaningful, isn't it?
Talent. So let's now meet F1's youngest driver lineup for 2023.
Here we go. People will want to hear
Please,
this,
everyone,
won't
give it
they?
up for Lando, Norris and Oscar Piastri.
I've not actually heard Oscar speak. Oh, they're both about 3 foot nothing though. I was looking at pictures of George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. It's hilarious. George Russell is literally double the height of Lewis Hamilton.
Welcome, guys. Now let's start with you, Lando. You're almost the same age as Bruce as when he started this entire team at 25, and you're also going into your 5th year in Formula One.
Yep.
How are you feeling about it?
I mean, I haven't quite started a McLaren team, but I'm excited. My 5th season, like you said. A long journey. It feels like it's gone extremely quickly. It doesn't feel like it's been,
Lando's looking
5
bigger
years,
to me.
4.5, but yeah, another new season.
I mean, he's not a big
new
lad,
car,
but
new teammates,
his
so,
neck and
full of
everything
new
is looking like he's
And
been
here is
working
new
out,
teammate Oscar. This
which is a good
your
thing.
Debut in F1 with McLaren. How does it feel to join such an amazing team with so much history? Are you feeling?
Getting a bit older though, isn't he? I mean, I know he's not old, but he's
obviously 60th year for McLaren. So yeah,
Yeah, Liam.
got a lot of history there, a lot of winning history. I'm just excited to be on the grid finally, and into
super
fire
excited.
So I'm just looking forward to getting out there and getting stuck in.
Amazing. And in this season, are there any particular moments that you're looking forward to at Lando? Any races? What's there to experience?
I mean, many places I look forward to. For me, British, so home race. Silverstone's always my favorite.
I
Vegas
don't
is on the
know,
calendar
Glad.
as
Where
well,
would he have
so I
gone?
think,
Where would he have
last time
gone, Glad?
drove on the grid, they
Where do
probably
you
said
think he'd have gone?
Vegas is the one I look forward to the most. But for me, Silverstone's always the most special. So I look forward to going back home.
Amazing. And Oscar, you've been busy preparing for your rookie
I think
season.
Piastri is going to
Which
shock people.
races are you looking forward to? the
Truly
most?
do.
I think same as Lando, home race for me in Melbourne. I'm a Melbourne boy, so I grew up about 10 minutes away from the track, so it's really a home race for me. So I'm looking forward to getting home. Vegas as well. I think that's everyone's wish list. So yeah, those two. I like Spa as well as a track, so I'm looking forward to going back there. But I think all of the races will be pretty cool. There's a lot of them this year.
Yeah, there's lots and lots to look forward to. And I actually saw that last month, both of you were out karting together.
Yeah, they were
Why don't you tell
karting.
everyone
It
a
was
little
actually
bit
pretty
about
funny.
that?
There's a rental karting world championship. So,
Yes.
I don't mind hearing off the
seriously,
drivers and stuff. It's when it's
my car was quite a bit quicker than his.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good race.
honestly, when it's like marketing stuff, I hate it. I hate all that stuff. Hearing off the drivers and a little bit about them, I'm absolutely on board with, honestly. It's when it goes off on all the tangents about other peripheral stuff, I'm not interested.
Makes sense. Well, thanks, guys. And we're wishing you all the best of luck.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, please hit the like on the stream, guys.
From the two gentlemen who spearhead the team, please give a warm welcome to McLaren Racing CEO Zach Brown and new McLaren F1 team principal Andrea Stella.
Well, this is interesting because I've not heard off the new team principal. The only place genuinely I see Lando ever going, well, there's two. I could either see him going to Red Bull or I could see him going to Mercedes. Red Bull because I think Lando's a young, vibrant guy and he suits Red Bull, but Mercedes, I think he's got ties with Mercedes.
This is a big year. New driver pairing, new team principal, and McLaren 60th. What should we be looking out for this season?
A lot of excitement and a lot of activity.
I've got a lot of time for Zach Brown. I think he's brilliant. He's a proper racing guy.
Of course, we've got Andrea now running our racing team, who's been with us for nearly a decade. So a familiar face to the racing team and has really been running the racing team for some time. So very much looking forward to working very closely with him. Of course, we've got our veteran Lando back in our race car.
Veteran.
And our rookie driver, Oscar, which is going to be quite
Carlos.
exciting. And the 60th year anniversary, we're going to be celebrating all throughout the year in our different racing series and celebrating our success and history while trying to create some new history moving forward.
It's going to be a big year for you. But looking
they're
beyond this
huge.
year, how is the future looking for McLaren?
Future's looking strong. We have a lot of our technology projects
Yeah,
are coming to fruition now. We can see them and touch them, and we'll be...
I'll touch on that in a minute, Russ.
Wind tunnel and simulation and things of that nature later on this year. And then, of course, we've got the world's greatest fans, and we're supported by the world's greatest companies, the Googles, the OKX, the Dell, the Cisco, and most recently had DP World join us. So they join an illustrious group of great companies that support us that are going to give Andrea...
Just really, really quickly, I was extremely lucky to go to Alpine last season, and in the foyer they had Alonso's winning Renault car and the latest 2022 sort of mock-up car, and they had them side by side. And honestly, the newest cars are nearly double the size in width, in length. They're just honestly huge compared. It is ridiculous how big the new cars are compared to back when Alonso won his titles. It's insane how big they are. They really, really are. And I'm hoping they go for a smaller car in the 2026 regulations, so that at places like Monaco, passing might be more of a thing. And I think that's what they're going to go for, but we'll have to see how that works with ground effect, won't we?
Coming season, what do you think is going to be your biggest challenge?
Well, the biggest challenge is to keep improving as a
With
team,
brackets as well. With
towards
brackets,
the front of the
Cameron.
grid, and we can do it.
Emphasising it, the boy.
To do it, we have to deliver our projects from an
Yeah.
infrastructure point of view.
Mad, isn't it, George?
Strengthening the team and also elevate the standards, as we say internally, and get the focus on performance.
Performance, the most important thing. Thank you both so much for joining us. I think that we've kept everyone waiting long enough. What do you
Here we
reckon,
go.
Vic?
All right, everyone, I do think it is now. Finally time, the moment we've
Let's have a look
all
then.
been
Here we go.
waiting for. Let's get ready to take a look at McLaren's latest F1 challenger. This is the McLaren MCL60.
They are big, Keith. They're huge, mate.
The past isn't something I really think about.
I hope
Next race, I only look into the future.
just hope for some spoilers every season, Glad. Whoever it is, maybe not as pronounced as Brawn, but you know, a bit of something, You know, if on the off chance a McLaren can actually be challenging for a few races, or an Aston or an Alpine, you know, it's what you want to see, isn't it, in Formula One? Just where's that come from? Not a fluky safety car red flag type situation, just Lando or Alonso or Gasly or Ocon are on it one weekend, and it's just like, that's mega, you know? But more often, I want to see that so bad within Formula One. And I suppose this season we'll see if budget caps and testing regulations are really working as they are intended to bring the field closer together, you know?
Beyond what I could even understand.
McLaren have got such a history, haven't they? I love the history of Formula One. It's why I'm a fan. It really is. I know I keep saying it. Like, I'm not even a McLaren fan, but I love this so much. Drivers they've had, man. What a team. What a team. Seriously, what a team. We need Williams back. I don't care what anyone thinks. We need Williams back. And I mean, up. Yeah, I don't think people realise, do they, John? I'm excited for McLaren. Oh, here we go. Cheers, thanks, Glad. A lot of work went into it, buddy. Lots of carbon to save weight. Downwash side pods, much like the Red Bull. Bloody hell, they're very, very slim at the back. Those side pods. Bloody hell. Top vents, not unlike the houses of the world, but I feel like we're on like a maximum sort of cooling package there. That is a good-looking Formula One car. That is a very good-looking Formula One car. Lots of carbon on show. Lots of it. They really are having to try and save weight everywhere with these cars. I'm not mad at that. The lines on that are really, like, aesthetically pleasing. I like that, honestly. Those side pods.
Wow.
They're aggressive. They are aggressive. Let me get the 2022 car up for you guys to have a look at. I'll get the images up for you guys and we'll compare them. Just give me a minute.
Beautiful.
Just give me a minute.
Lovely to see the evolution from last year. Subtle things, but all to try and help it move in the right direction and help us take steps forward. So looks good. The real question is answered in a few weeks when I get to be behind the wheel.
Absolutely. And Oscar?
Yeah, it looks great, obviously. Like Lando
Just
said,
waiting for him
evolution
to
of
post
last
the
year's car.
actual images, but I'll get the
But yeah,
2022
cool.
car.
My first F1 car is going to be pretty special, so it looks good.
Does indeed. Andrea, the car looks great, but what are your thoughts? What can you tell us in terms of performance?
Well, in terms of performance expectations, we remain realistic for the short term. We will see where we are in Bahrain at the test and at the first race. Independently of that, we have good developments in the pipeline, so we remain optimistic for the season ahead.
Now, Zach, you probably can't wait to see this beauty in action, racing around the track. What is your message to the team?
I think
I want to thank everyone.
those
You know,
side
as I
pods are
mentioned
more
earlier, this is
sculpted.
a
I feel
team
like.
effort. We almost have almost 1,000 people inside McLaren Racing, the strong majority of those on Formula One.
You haven't
tens of
actually
millions,
posted
hundreds of
the
millions
individual
of
images
Papaya
yet.
fans, and of course, these wonderful corporate partners. We couldn't be racing without them.
Yeah,
So
definitely, Gareth.
That is Team McLaren, and I'm excited to get the show on the road.
I've got a good
So
picture
there you
of
have it.
the
new
side
team
pod
and
of
the
last year's
MCL60
car. I feel like this
together
is
for the first
slimmer.
time. The next time you see them all will be at testing in Bahrain. Thank you, Zach, Andrea, Oscar, and Lando for joining us. We wish you all the best of luck.
I guess that's the end. So I'll come back a few seconds there.
First time. The next time you see them all will be at testing in Bahrain. Thank you, Zach, Andrea.
Right then. So we've got that there, and I can put the next the 2022 car up. So you can sort of see there, right? I feel like they've gone even more. I think they've just sculpted and packaged the side pods better. Can you see that? I know that might not be the best view, but I was trying to get a proper side pod view. I feel like they've sculpted that side pod even more. I think they've really worked on the packaging. So this that you can see on the top here is last year's, and then there's the new car on the left, and I feel like they've swept it down, but in a more, like, this is sort of bumpy, like they couldn't get the packaging right. But whereas that looks quite smooth and I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of that. It does look different to me, though. It does look different to me, though. Let me see if I can get... There we go. We've got the side view. Let me get another view of the car. I'm trying to get the Abu Dhabi car picture up so that we can actually get a good comparison. But it's quite difficult because they're all sort of top-down shots. You know, it's possible that could be last year's car, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out and get a good angle on it. There's views now, is there? Because there wasn't a minute ago. That were images. Yeah, they've put them up just now. Okay, cool. I'll put them on for you. There we go. How's that? There we go. That is the car there. I feel like that could be last year's car. That could be last year's car, despite my initial comments. I'm not sure we're seeing a new car there. Honestly. Let me try and get another... Oh, let me get another view. 1 minute. So there's that. I think that's last year's car. I'm trying to get images up for you. Yeah, I think that's last year's car, look. I think that's last year's. If you're looking at the cooling and what the cooling's doing, I think it is. But it still looks awesome. It still looks awesome. The floor looks different. It's hard to say. I will say, though, you can see how undercut that side pod is. That is undercut, isn't it? Bloody hell. Just 1 minute. Can't really see it, that angle. Yeah. See how undercut that side pod is? That's crazy. That's crazy. Where's the ashtray? Dive's a bit buttoned down. I can't decide whether that's last year's car. I think we're going to see something different, you know. I think we're going to see something different at... There's a good link to McLaren's page on white background. Where's that? Is that on Twitter as well? Let's have a look at the... Holy crap, yeah. Those side pods, look at this. Look at those side pods. They're insane. They are insanely undercut. I'm not sure. Let me try and get a 2022 front view. Front. You won't really get a view like that at the front of the car. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah. Yeah, they have done mega mega work over the 2022 car. Holy crap. Let me just try and get this image up for you. So look at those side pods, right? And look how undercut they're going there. That is insane. That is insane. Because let's just bring this one up for you. And this is last year's car at launch. And look, they go straight down there. Now, I'm not saying that didn't evolve throughout the season, but that is an insane difference. It really is. Let me see if I can find a better front view. Let's say there. I'm trying to find a better. I mean, you can visually tell actually on quite a few pictures that just wasn't the case last season. Yeah, it just wasn't the case last season. You can plainly see on. Let's bring this one up here. You can. I'm not sure. This is Mclaren. This is Silverstone last season. So it's really important. Look at how they come out there and scoop. Like, they are so undercut. That is absolutely insane how undercut they are. And then this is from Silverstone. And look, you can see they are undercut at the front, but they bulge out at the bottom. There is no shaping and contouring underneath those side pods. And that's as late as Silverstone last season. So I would say they are definitely new side pods. They are absolutely insane. They are absolutely insane, I think. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Are you spotting anything on there that's different? I can't say I am. What about that front wing? That front wing? Is that more contoured towards the outer edges? Is that, yes. Yeah. So look at that front wing there. I don't know whether regulations changed on the front wing. I don't recall anything changing on the front wing. But look how shaped that is, right, towards the outer edge there. Now, I could be wrong, but this is Silverstone last year. That looks different to me. Let's see if I can just do... no, not that. I've absolutely screwed that up. Can you see that? What do you think? Is that just perspective, or does that look more shaped? I don't know. It might be the same. It might just be perspective. The wing mirrors are much bigger, obviously, because that is a regulation for this season. Interesting about the top of the side pod. Well, this is the thing. Now, this is the thing, Keith, because I'm super excited about the zero pod potential for Mercedes, because I don't know if they're going to have the zero pod. Please do make sure you hit that like button. And also, guys, I'm going to be live for the Aston Martin launch later on, so please do make sure you subscribed as well. Now, this is the thing, right, Keith? This shows it is very important to work the floor, right? And maybe, I'm not an aerodynamicist. Everyone screams they need side pods. I don't know. I'm not an aerodynamicist, right? I kind of want the Mercedes to appear without side pods again, and for it to work, because it's different, right? I'm not a Mercedes fan, but I like difference on the grid. It would be brilliant to see Mercedes turn up with a zero pod and it work, then Ferrari to stay with their sort of scoop side pods and it work, and then people have these almost Red Bullish side pods and it work, because it would show that there are multiple ways to go about it, right? And the idea, as far as I know, with the side pods, Keith, is to get sort of downwash towards the rear, right? Now, again, not being an aerodynamicist, it would make sense not having side pods at all, so you don't have to create that downwash, right? Because if you don't have side pods at all, then you're creating drag with having them, right? I don't know if that makes sense. Now, of course, you're probably accelerating the air over the side pods and down towards the rear, which probably helps with downforce. But I'm no expert. But look, it has to point to something that they have undercut so aggressively there on the side pod. I don't know. I can't call it. I mean, we will see. I think it's very clear that it is an evolution on the side pods. Now, yeah, because this is Silverstone 2022. So it shows that the side pod is different, doesn't it? I don't think there's much that can do with the rear wing. The wing mirrors look to have the same idea, but they're just the bigger ones. They've got this sort of winglet and then strut support, and these have got a winglet and a strut support as well. Front suspension seems to have the same geometry. We've got the, they're all taking the same shape there and things like that. So the front wing, maybe we might see something happen with the front wing, but it all looks very similar there. But what we are seeing is those side pods are really different. They're really different to me. Yeah, but this is the thing though, Gled. This is the thing, isn't it? With the Merc, it doesn't have to mean it was the side pods, and maybe this, I don't know. The Merc might get uncovered, and the zero pods could be gone. But I always hope to see different things. Imagine on the drive. If you want it, Rich. What? Image on the drive. Oh, thank you. That really confused me then. I know what you're meaning now. How can I do this? And I will have a quick look now. I'm really enjoying doing these streams, for these. Are the rear tires narrower? No. That's a perspective thing, I think, mate. Because while the tires will be different in construction, they are the same. You know what I mean? They are the same. Share with me what you got in here. I'm not seeing it, mate. I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything, John. Yeah, I'm in the TSK F1. In the one we've been using. I'm not seeing it, mate. Yeah, maybe I'm missing something. Sorry, dude. There we go. Got it up now. Yeah. I think it just took a bit of time. Aha. Great. Here we go. So there we go. We've got the them sort of compared there. I think at launch that shows you the difference. Now, I think that shows you the difference. Now, what I can say is the rear of the side pod evolved to a downwash. The rear of the side pod. So what seems to have happened for me, 2022 versus 23, what we've got is the front of the side pod remained the same throughout 22 on the McLaren, but by the end of 22, you had the back of these side pods. So where you're seeing this sort of nice, that this isn't doing anything, is it? There's nothing here aerodynamically happening, right? And what you saw is from sort of this E forward, it stayed the same. But then from the E back, you saw them take more of a Red Bull stance, and they're trying to downwash the air over the back there. Now, this isn't sculpting the air in any way. I think I saw someone describe it on previous cars before 2022. The rear wing, I think, is by spec, mate. I don't think it's actually narrower. I think that's pretty strictly controlled. I think they can do stuff with the depth and things, but I don't think they can narrow it in, I think. But before 2022, it was about inwash. right? Now, again, I'm not claiming to know about this. I just remember here, I think it was Adrian Newey, so it's pretty good, right? So it was about bringing the air round and in, but with these regulations, it's about downwash. So I think at some point in the season, they realized that they needed to work that air that was going over the top, and they were somewhat wasting it, and the move to this kind of situation. Now, I don't know about this undercut and aerodynamically what that does, but obviously it's a less draggy way of doing it. And you can tell that, you know, that they've clearly evolved it and they're working this downwash, you know. And it's just good to see that they've clearly evolved it. It looks, does it look leaner here as well? Maybe? Or is it me? It could just be me. But I'm just wondering here, in the chassis, does it look like narrower there? Like they've undercut it where that wheel is. I think maybe it's just where the image is, but it kind of looks like they've lifted that bit up as well, but I could be wrong. It's probably by regulation they can't do that, but I don't know. This packaging all seems to be very, very similar, but they've just really cut this area out for the downwash, haven't they? They really have. But there we go. That is the 2023 McLaren MCL60, guys. I'm going to be back for the Aston Martin livery or car launch, I hope. I think I've scheduled it for 6:45, I think. I'm going to look and just end this poll here. Let's end the poll, which was, do we think McLaren will have a better season this year? 92% said yes. 92% said yes. Right. I'll be back for the Aston Martin launch, guys. Please do remember to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. And I'll be back in a little while with the next launch. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'll see you soon. All right. Cheers. Bye-bye.